And sometimes it means that we make divisive decisions, but I think that's what was great about the beta, right?
I will
is
say
that
I've had a lot of
people
fun
got
with
to
the
see what
Funcom team
true
in the
experience
closed
was.
beta for the past year.
Exactly. So
however
we're
long I've
ready
been
actually
there.
for the question. So is that Lopiel 125?
I've worked with a few teams over the years,
Is
but
the
the
exchange
Funcom team has
global
been
or per
generally
server?
good people.
It is per world. So the world is what we call a container of all the Hagen Basin that you will play and interact with, right? So there are hundreds of worlds, so it is not global.
Yeah, it is one deep desert per world,
Yeah.
2 social hubs per world, and then many Hager basins per world, and that is what we call a world. And yeah, as Scott says, at launch there are hundreds of worlds to choose from, right? And within each world, there's many Hager basins to choose from.
Right.
Yep.
All right. And Speak asks, are the overland map dungeons instanced per player? Can you do them as a group, or are they open like
They
the
are
social
not
ones?
instanced, no.
The answer is that they are not instanced for a group. They are per player, and they are not open like the social hubs.
They are instanced, though,
Yes, they are
to
instanced.
a limit.
Oh, they are.
So,
Okay.
Several people in the same world can be doing the same,
Oh,
like
Yeah,
the
single.
water fat
Yeah.
mansion, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Which are is kind of our only instant content in that way,
Yes.
in
Yes.
that sense.
Yep, correct.
Charlie Foxtrot TV asks, how do the different circuits work?
Oh, they basically isolate.
Because I know
resources
Babylonian
so
and I
that
ran
they
into
can
another
only be
player when we
used
were
if
doing
they're
that
on
dungeon
that circuit.
in the
And
beta
then you can
preview
set the
event.
circuit for
So
the-
I assumed that they were not
it's a little bit hard in the
instanced,
UI,
but apparently
you
they
can
are.
set like a machine's input and output circuit
Yes.
that way, and so that's kind of
Yeah.
the extent with it.
Like draw from this storage, deliver to this storage when you're finished, right? Like and that's
Basically,
how
yeah.
Or this group of
Yeah,
connected
and,
items.
yeah, exactly. And you can set a certain number of storages per circuit, and so yeah. So yes, that's basically it.
Kriegsdrachen asks, how will they ensure balance between Harkonnen and Atreides?
There are systems. I think I talked about this in that other.
You
when I got
you
that
just
question.
mentioned as well as
I
like
hedged it
we
last time.
have, but
We
you
have
didn't
some
want to
systems,
spoil
but I'm
it,
not gonna
which we
talk too
shouldn't.
much about.
Exactly, exactly.
And then when we introduce a third faction,
Yep.
which we are planning to, it will also have a role in that balance. But that's basically what I can say right now.
I will be
But
100% joining the third
ensure
faction
is
if it's
very
the
hard.
faction I
Like,
think
it's very hard
that
to
it's
like
going to be.
100% certain because, you know, when you give players choice, they choose. And so you can't guarantee that it's going to be 100%, not 100% people on Atreides on a world. But I think we have pretty good systems in place to make sure that at least feels like it balances itself out pretty well.
Yes, and the deep desert is not Atreides versus Harkonnen.
Yes.
It is every
Yes.
person for themselves, right? So even if Harkonnen are kind of dominating a server, or they're 60-40, they're going to be fighting themselves in the
Yes.
deep desert as well.
And that's actually something I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Landsrad. Like the Landsrad, you can see the different within
top
the
guilds.
factions who the top guilds are and who contributed the most. Because a part of the Dune thing is that like it isn't that like everybody in Atreides is a monolith. It's actually like people want the Duke's attention, so they want to be further up. And the same with the Harkonnen, right? Like I want the Baron to witness me, so I'm trying to get to the top of the list of guilds. So there should be inter-guild competition even within the factions. So they overall are working towards the common goal of the Landsrad.
But you're
they're
still trying to
each
be number
other
one.
to be the best in the Landsrad. So they have the most voting power, they get the rewards, etc.
Yeah, especially also because like one Atreides guild might be focused on PvP, the other one might be super opposed to PvP.
Yep.
So they definitely don't want the PvP guild to like get, we want full PvP. So
Yes.
they will, work against them and like,
Yes.
we want to be top because we want to have more say in which decree we're actually going to have next week.
Yeah, like exactly.
So-
a crafting guild's going to want the crafting decrees.
Exactly,
And
yes.
they're not going to want the PvP full loot decree, right?
Exactly,
So there's going to be
yes.
that kind of competition even within the factions.
Yes, exactly.
So, yep, good question.
Cypher asks, can our bases get raided?
He answered this in the Q&A
Not
we
in
did the other
Haga
day.
Basin. They will be safe in Haga Basin. In the deep deserts, it's a bit different.
Yeah, in the PvE section of the Deep Desert, no.
Yeah.
But in the PvP section of the Deep Desert, there is a mechanism by which bases have a vulnerability window where they can be raided. It is a very short vulnerability window, and again, I would point to the lore of the Dune universe. So I'm sorry for everybody who hasn't read the books and doesn't know a way in which shields can go down for a brief period of time. But it is worth looking into because then you'll understand exactly how the mechanics can work. And I know I'm being needlessly cryptic, but I'm sure there's people spamming in the chat about it already.
Let them
They were
figure it out.
spamming the normal Discord yesterday
Ultimate
about it
Alchemist,
after my
if I don't
Q&A.
take the mission to talk with House Atreides or Harkonnen, will I be content locked as far as processing?
Not as the main story,
Progressing,
no.
sorry.
No, that's
The
fine.
main story and the ability to craft.
No.
Yeah, no. The story, I mean, while it involves House Atreides and the Harkonnen, it is not about that. It's about you.
Yeah, the
and
faction
your
quests
role
are
on Dune.
separate
It's your quest to find the
from the
fragment.
main
Exactly,
story,
right.
which is
So-
to find the
So the
fragment.
main story follows that. What we were talking about and what we were showing earlier with the different faction unlocks, like in terms of the visuals and those things, you're locked out of if you don't want to join a faction.
But those
You
are
can't get,
pure vanity.
but they're pure
They-
vanity, right?
No mechanics.
But yeah, you can't. But one thing you cannot join the Landsrad unless you have aligned yourself with a faction. Your guild must be aligned with a faction to participate in the Landsrad. That is the one hard requirement that I think faction alignment has in the game. That's it. Otherwise, yeah, you can do all the content without joining.
Someone said the other day that you can
I
create
also
your
think
own
when it
guild
comes
as a
to
solo
progressing,
player.
In the beta, during the beta weekend, you
I'll
were
have-
still
I
very
don't know
much
enough about
in
that.
the tutorialization part of the game,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I know that some players were like, "Whoa, this is very linear" and things. But the thing is, things open up quite more once you're past that tutorialization section as well. So you won't be actually locked.
Man,
progressing
next
and
Thursday,
crafting
guys.
or
I'm
whatever.
so stoked.
Yeah, and in the opening.
I haven't
Specifically.
played
In the opening
a
of the
big game
game,
like this at launch since
after
Star Wars:
character
The
creation, you
Republic
actually
launched
get
in
a choice as to whether you
2011.
want
So
to
it's
play
been
with an unlocked
14,
tech
15
tree
years
or
for
locked
me.
tech tree. The reason we put that there is so that people who are advanced survival players or people who've played Dune before can just go, okay, I want the unlocked tech tree, I know what I'm doing. But I recommend, and we recommend, that the locked tech tree is for people who are playing the game for the first time, and really, like, because there are so many, we've been talking about it a lot today, there are so many mechanics that are just kind of Dune mechanics that we want people to learn, and we need to teach them. And it's going to be hard for you to know what to do. Like, you don't know about dew reaping and times of day when you should be out harvesting dew unless you follow the tutorials that we
Yeah,
put
because
in
that's
place for
unique
that,
to
right?
Dune.
So
It's not part of
it's just that.
Enshrouded or Valheim or Once
Or you need to
Human.
go to shipwrecks to craft better weapons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or buy the
Koopa's
parts
asking,
from
is
the
there a level
PvE
cap?
vendors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe we're at 200
Yeah.
Currently.
currently.
But you can respec.
Yeah.
So it's, I believe it's on a 48-hour
Mm-hmm.
cycle. So even if you cap out and you play something and you decide you don't like it, you can
Yeah.
switch to something else.
And there's a point where you run out of, like, you stop getting unlock points for your tech tree, intel points. And then we have a mechanic in the game for you to go around and unlock more intel points by going to bases in the world, like enemy bases and outposts. So there's a level cap that puts a stop to some of those progression things, and then the next step from there is for you to go and explore more and enjoy the game more.
Because we do want you to make some choices. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Also, like, I mean, there's different level and skill point caps, right? Because you have a character level, you have skill points, and you have intel points. So
Yes.
there's like 3 different
Yes.
caps that you
Yeah,
particularly
exactly.
hit. K69N is asking, is it possible to lose all your gear in PvP?
So not in PvP in the base level. In the deep desert, you lose resources that you're carrying, Solari and Spice.
But that's not
And
gear.
you take durability damage to some of your gear, right? That's what happens every time you die, PvE or PvP. But if there's a specific decree from the Landsrad which enables full loot PvP in the deep desert for 1 week, then that's the only time in the game where you can lose all your gear in PvP.
But it has to be unlocked.
Or if you're fighting in the sand in a sandworm country.
And Sandworm.
Yeah,
is,
sure.
If you
I
try
guess
to
you
fight
can
the
lose all your gear in
sandworm,
PvP, but
yeah.
we count the.
Yeah,
is the sandworm PvP really?
You know.
It's more like PvE, but yes, 100%.
Wolfie1974, are we going to be able to get blueprints that devs made of their bases?
Oh, the Tor Igel presents.
Exactly, as Tor Igel presents. That's actually very
That's a
cool. I
great
love
idea.
that idea. That's actually very
Maybe
cool.
we
That
can
is a
idea.
cool
approach some
idea.
vendors
Yeah.
post-launch with some of our
I was just,
crewmates. Maybe,
yes,
we'll
I
see.
was just about to
That
say
would be cool if they
I
did
don't think
that.
players should actually pay for them per se, but we should, or maybe they need to. I
Ah!
don't know.
I don't know,
We
maybe.
should not, no, actually, let me rephrase that. We shouldn't have a dev sell those items in game, but we can sell it via
Oh,
NPC.
sure, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I meant, right?
Maybe
Like,
we can put a vendor or something
that'd
like
be
that.
cool, yeah, like you
Yeah,
mentioned.
maybe a vendor in the world can sell some blueprints.
You see, like, Tor Igel bases
Toregel's the
everywhere.
guy. Toregel's the builder among us.
Dude, he's a
Mine would
badass
just be-
too.
Yeah, no one
Minor
wants.
boxes.
No one wants to see
Yeah.
my. I'm the guy who tests T2P every
New dog houses.
TTP every time.
Yes.
So
I'm sure we're gonna have players who make a fantastic building.
Oh, I'm gonna be building
Okay,
the shit out of
Quintinovich
bases.
is asking, will GeForce now be in Dune Awakening?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's
I have no idea.
discussions going on.
There's
at least.
discussions. I can't remember what the last is, but people are looking at it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't have Slack open, otherwise you could check.
GeForce
Someone
Now
is
is
like
the
hammering
streaming
messages
service, right?
to me
Yeah, yeah.
online.
So
It's like,
the question, I guess, would be, will Dune Awakening be on GeForce Now?
Yes.
for
That's
streaming?
you're
Yeah,
not wrong,
that's what I-
Bubble Idiot.
that's
Technically,
what
it's
I don't know the answer,
PvP
I'm
if you
sorry, but still.
thumper a
Yeah, I don't
worm
think
into
I have an
somebody else.
official answer, but I believe so. But yeah.
Helping Hans, how do you balance the council wins? If one side gets unique weapons, won't that side have a better chance to win the next vote down the line?
Not necessarily, because the tasks for the Landsrat are pulled from, like, so there's 25 tasks per week, and there's a pool of like 400 tasks that can potentially show up. So you, first of all, don't necessarily know what's going to be there. Unique weapons doesn't actually influence everything. Some of the tasks are kill tasks. You don't know which tasks are going to be revealed first. You also have to bribe Landsrat envoys with spice to reveal tasks. And if your faction does it before the other faction, you'll see, okay, we need to do this. So you might just get ahead because you had more spice or whatever. It's not going to come down to unique weapons. Absolutely not. That's not going to be the thing that means that one side gets a sudden landslide kind of advantage. So I think that's the best way to answer that, I think, from my perspective.
I think that's a great answer too, and I think it just goes again into people are a little bit too afraid that everything is about PvP and fighting
It's not.
end game, and that's absolutely not.
It's
the
not.
case.
Yeah.
Hopefully we explained that
I'm
a little bit
notoriously
better so people
anti-PvP,
can
and
think
I'm
more.
excited to participate in the end game here because there's so much that I can do that doesn't have anything to do with
Dr.
PvP.
Evil Eye, is there any content or materials that are hidden behind PvP, meaning that the only way to obtain that item gear material is to risk losing to large guilds?
I wouldn't
Those
say
are
hidden, but
things.
yeah, like you can. The Deep Desert, which we just explained, is a place where tier 6 gear is, like items and materials for crafting those things. You need to go there to get those things. You can buy them off the exchange. You can trade for them with other people. But yes, you have to go to that place in order to get those things. And there is a risk of people attacking you when you're in that place. We tried to explain that this is a very large place. It's not going to be possible for a guild to cover the entire space. It's
Yeah,
just
there's
not going to be
members.
possible.
Yeah. I think guild limit's 32.
The guild limit
Yes.
is 32
Yeah,
people.
Yeah. So one per kilometer,
Yeah.
maybe, if they stretch
Yeah,
across.
they'd have to stretch all the way across, and even then, I think there's all kinds of
Yeah,
tactics
yeah,
and
yeah.
ways to draw them off, and I don't think it's going to be
There,
a problem.
there are potentially hundreds and hundreds of people that can be in the deep desert,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So one guild would be outnumbered by 100 people.
Again, if you want to rat, you can rat.
Yeah,
Like there's
and-
options, right?
And
Yeah.
also, like the tier 6 gear isn't required for the story or
Yeah.
for anything that's having to do.
Listen
with
to this
navigation.
man.
It's sort of just the deep desert
FOMO.
But we can't tell people that they can't
T6
get to the
gear
top
is
number when
FOMO.
they go up, because
It's
there's
not
people
required for the
always want
story.
that.
I'm
So-
so tired
so
of
it's-
answering people on my
No, no,
YouTube
it's-
videos
Even
who are
though
like,
it's not required,
but if you want the best
I
gear
know
in the
people don't
game
want
and
it.
you gotta
I feel like
run
it makes
around
sense
T6,
because
you
those
have to
people
go to
who
the deep
really
desert
care
and do
about
PvP. No,
the
you don't.
highest level tier are
Like
probably
Joel just said, you
PvPers,
could
and
buy
they
it from
wanna
other
be in the
players
deep
if you
desert
really
in the
want it.
first place.
And
So I feel
as
like
Scott
it's
just
kind of
said,
a natural balance
you
there.
don't need it for the
Hopefully we also
story.
have, like,
It's
I think there's this
just
weird.
extra beyond the
I
main
speak to a
story.
lot of people in our closed beta and our Discord, right?
So
and I
good
see
to
that,
hear
like,
that
there's people who
reiterated from the
assume that
developers
everybody
themselves.
who
It
is a
is
guild
not
in
tied
PvP
to the
is going
main
to be this
story. It is
toxic,
extra
sweaty
bonus
kinda-
beyond
and I
main
think it's gonna be
story.
the opposite. I think we're going to have the good guy guilds who are out there actually protecting people and like helping people out. I've seen it in the beta already. People, I got lost in the desert, help, and people would come help
You
them.
don't need it
give
for the
them
main
rides
story.
home,
That's
like,
fluff. That's
and
icing
give
on
them
the
more gear.
cake.
I've seen people in the beta
I'm
like
finished with the
just
main story.
give
What else
other
is there to
people
do?
an ornithopter when they lost one because of a bug that was in the game from our end. They're like, "Oh, do you want an ornithopter? I have a spare one." Right? That's it's great to see, and I think that people worry too much about toxicity. Hopefully, we'll keep track of it, of course, but
Yeah.
it should be fine.
And you have one player for the
Yeah.
entire world,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, and you are your name, right? So you will have some sort of reputation.
Yeah, exactly. There's that as well.
Yeah, as a callback to more old school MMOs that I grew up with, like EverQuest and all those. But anyway, so we have 2 more
EverQuest.
questions. Fort Team is asking, do you need a sync chart for each person in your guild?
Yes. You need to create a sync chart for every person who's going to want to reveal those things
Yeah.
that you've got in your sync
They're
chart.
single-use items.
Yeah, they're single-use items, consumables, once you've created them.
And last questions. Neo Valkyrion, can transport ornithopters carry other ornithopters?
Yes, they can.
They can indeed.
They can indeed. I was playing it earlier. I was flying around carrying a medium ornithopter
Yes,
with
they
my
can pick
transport
up pretty
and
much
assault.
anything.
Yeah.
And
Or
again, they have
anything
passengers
vehicular.
too.
Yes, vehicular. Can't pick up people
No, no.
unless they're.
Inside.
They're sitting inside a vehicle. All right. All right. So that was it with the questions for today and also for our last developer stream before
Exciting.
Head Start and the
my God.
official release. I'm like still like how okay, so
It's like 7
how
days,
do
8 days.
how do you boys feel? Gents.
Me
How do you
first.
feel?
Go, Scott.
Pretty good, right?
Pretty
So beta went really well from
Yeah.
our perspective. The tech was stable, and that's what we're always worried about, because we knew the game was pretty good, or we thought the game was
We
really
think
good,
so,
right?
yeah.
And all the tests we had run showed that, but we were a little fearful, that tech would hold, and it went really, really well with the closed-ish beta, right? The weekend, where, the server crash rate was low, the client crash rate was within our acceptable tolerance, and we're fixing most of the issues that we found. So cautiously optimistic, right? Incredibly excited to show the entire game.
I love the
and,
way he words things. I like Scott. I've never seen him on a
the
video
last week
before.
is always,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Clinch.
Scott seems like he
It's
knows his
5 years
shit,
of your life.
and he's
right, and it's like
he's using
it's
the
like-
right words.
I think that's the thing that I think is like what I'm not sure people understand. Is like when you've been living and breathing this kind of thing for 5 years, and then like you see the game industry is volatile.
Yeah.
Things don't go well for people. We have a team of that I love to work with. We have a team of great people that we've built over the last years, and it's like it isn't about like success in the sense of like I just want to say that like it is a game that I think is great, right? And I've played it and I kind of know that it has.
I
a
will
lot
also
going
say
on,
that,
right? And I think it works well. And from the beta, we got some confirmation
because
that.
of my time
But I
in
want
closed
my
beta now.
team
I
be
didn't know a lot
together
about Funcom
making
before
games
Dune
for a long
Awakening.
time, right? So for me, this is like
I've
I'm
come to
nervous
have
about
huge
that, right?
respect
Like,
for
it's-
them
The gaming industry is not a safe
as a
place
team
anymore, right? It's
from
not
my
easy
experience with
to
them
guess
working
what's gonna be
alongside them as they've
successful. I mean,
developed
I'm
Dune Awakening.
watching things and like you see
And
things
it's one of
that
the
are
few
fantastic
companies that I
from
would
small
look at
teams
and
going
go,
great.
I would
Like and
happily
there's been
work
some
there.
fantastic games this year. And
Like,
games
there's
that you
very
wouldn't
few
have
companies
predicted
that I would look
coming
at
out
as
of
someone
nowhere,
who's
like, Schedule.
not interested in
Schedule
working
One
for
is a
other
great one,
people.
but
I can
also,
look at
like,
Funcom and
Claire
go,
Obscura,
they're up there with
I'd heard of it,
Larian
but I hadn't heard of
Studios.
it
I
until
wouldn't. I
really
could
it blew up. And so you
I could
see
work there.
these games, these huge successes. So I think it's like
on Dune. It could be
you
fun.
don't want to have the
Like,
arrogance
they're
to
a
think
good
that
crew
you
of
could be
people.
among that, but you hope, and that's kind of where I'm at least. I'm hoping we strike a vibe. I'm hoping that all the decisions that we made, and there's 10,000 decisions on a gaming project, right? There's 10,000 decisions, and every one of them is about moving towards a goal, right? Towards a vision, a creative vision, a vision of a universe, a vision that a guy created in 1963 when he wrote a book, right? And that's, I don't know, like I'm extremely nervous, but that's what we're trying to get to, right? And that's, I hope what people feel when they play the game is, yeah, okay, you nailed it, right? Like,
I
that's
think
what-
they've
that's
nailed
what
it
we
so
want.
far.
I feel like
But
you've made
I've
an
read the
amazing
books
Dune game.
several
Yes,
times,
and it's
so
the first where you're walking.
I know there's a lot of
right,
Reddit
interacting,
trolls who are like,
you're experiencing
but the
Paul's journey.
melee
First
animations
Skip in 2001.
suck.
Sure.
Why do I have
Sure.
to use a slow attack
but
to
for
pierce
me,
the
right,
shield?
in the modern sense. So it's and we have a story we want to tell. People saw a really short glimpse of it in the beta, but there's so much more.
Yeah, I wished I would
going
have
through
played
the rest
Secret
of
World
Act
when it
One
came
and
out,
Act
but
Two,
I was too busy with
and
other
that-
stuff.
And there's this long story that we want to tell over the, Lex, you said 10 years, right? On
Yes.
the thing.
That's the
So
plan.
He
Yeah.
did say 10 years
10
during the
years.
we
Q&A
have a
the
long
other
story.
day.
We want to continue releasing updates, every 3-4 months with additions to that story, in addition to the DLCs that we're going to
Story
come out.
updates
So
every 3 to
when
4
you buy
months.
the game, you're getting everything here right now
For
plus
free, by the
all
way.
story content
For
that we'll continue
free.
to release over
There's
those
no
years.
monthly subscription
So yeah, we're
ever.
excited.
And they're going to be
It's a
continuing
lot
to
of
expand the
pressure.
story
Yeah,
with
we'll do
updates every
fine.
3
There's
to
no
4
guarantees
months.
in love and war, but you know what? I'll say this for the record. I'm really proud of our team and what they've done.
And there's no cosmetic
and
shop.
like,
No
no
cash
matter
shop.
what happens, all of them can hold
Base
their heads
game,
up high
paid
because they
DLC,
have
that's
worked
it.
really hard to bring this to fruition.
Absolutely, shout out to our teams, the many teams.
By the
that
way, I'm gonna
work
give a
on this
shout out
game
to
with all
Christina
different
right now.
departments.
Every department.
And
Christina has
absolutely,
kicked
it's a
ass as
beast
like
of a game. I think we
It
can
is a
say
beast.
that.
Yeah.
the
And,
go-between
I'm actually getting goosebumps now. I'm
between the
sorry. I'm
Funcom
actually getting I'm
devs
such a-
guys
I'm such
and
a
those
so-
of us
I'm
who've been
sorry.
in
Such
the
a-
closed
such
beta
a- yeah.
and
Anyway,
the sort of
but
content
I think that's
creator
a wonderful note to
influencer
end
team.
this, again,
Christina
last
kicks
developer
ass.
stream.
So shout out to
Yeah.
Christina.
Yep.
Natasha also, but
On
Christina is the person I go to every
before
day with
it
stuff, and
starts
she's awesome.
and,
Yeah.
release. One thing we can actually say is that you will be able to upgrade your editions on the 10th of January. So there will be an option.
10th of June, I
10th
think.
of, sorry, June. Oh my God. I just, that wonderful ending. I just completely, oh well.
Congratulations.
Anyway, pro here, right?
So I'll be starting 8 a.m. on Thursday,
Yes.
my
so,
time.
10th of June, when the game goes into full release, you will be able to upgrade your editions. Should you want to?
Next
do that.
Thursday,
There will be
kids.
options on Steam, and we'll be ending. Thank you so much.
And again, I'll have my Siege
Joel, for
information
being
and
here,
everything
doing it out
available
of
once I
your
go live.
busy
So those of you who
schedules,
want to
really
join me on my
appreciate it.
server, you'll be
Talking
free
to
to
us.
do so. Only 40 people
And
can join
we'll
as Siege,
have a last
but
trailer,
many
and
people can
with
join
that,
under a
I
world
thank everyone
server.
for watching and joining us today, and
So-
hopefully you'll enjoy what's coming your way.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. See you on Thursday.
Yes, Thursday.
Cheers.
Oh, we get another trailer?
So then, you're not quite dead.
Not yet.
Great plots are afoot in the Imperium. And the currents of intrigue run deeply. You will go to Arrakis.
I've got
as our
goosebumps right
agent.
now. I'm so stoked.
You have one task. Find the Fremen.
By the way, whoever's been putting together the cinematic trailers for this game needs to win a fucking award. They have been doing a killer job putting together these cinematic trailers.
Fleeing the scene of a terrible crash. Who are you?
You've heard the expression, the spice must flow.
Valkyrian!
And the man who ensures that it continues to do so.
I dreamed of you.
That's right, baby.
Fire,
Keep dreaming of me.
In the sky, the seer of lies. I am terrified of what happens when you awaken.
We've all lost our way. You can complete the mission.
Yeah, it's Valkyrian. Same voice actor.
Every person carries their past with them. Who are you?
Yeah, he does have a badass voice for like creepy bad guys, main characters. Shai Halud! May the Maker bless us! Alright, kids. I gotta go away from here and cut a shitload of videos out to publish on YouTube over the next few hours, over the rest of the day. I will be starting my journey on June 5th at 8 a.m. Central Time with the Head Start access. So, for those of you who want to join in the adventure, again, I will have my Siege information available once I get going with the live stream. No one knows names of Sieges or world servers or anything out. I'll make that information available. We don't know until the game goes live. So, we'll know more on June 5th, but I will be playing. This is going to be the mainstream game from the 5th until the 13th of June, which is when I start the altars. But even beyond that, I'll be playing Dune Awakening throughout the course of 2025 because I have a lot of goals that I want to achieve beyond just the main storyline. There's base building, there's the deep desert. I want to do like some sort of big, like, base like I did in No Man's Sky, where it's like a public base where people can come in and use the crafting stations and wander on by and find cisterns for water and stuff like that. So we'll be doing some fun stuff. I'll occasionally do some co-op stuff from time to time with people who are on my Siege or World server who want to do some like get-togethers for dungeons and stuff. So stay tuned for all that stuff. June 5th is the Head Start access. If you decide you want to pre-order the game and you want to use my affiliate code, the links are down below in the YouTube description. Full disclosure, it is an affiliate link. I get a kickback from that. So if you decide to pre-order, that's the way you can do that. And I will catch everybody next week for the launch of Dune Awakening on June 5th. In the meantime, I'm going to go cut these videos out and get them published on YouTube. So if you're following on Twitch right now, make sure to follow along on YouTube because everything in between the streams happens over there. And tomorrow morning, we'll be back at 5 a.m. Central for more live streams. Catch you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great day.